Welcome back. Let's move on and see another attack that can be launched using Bettercap on another protocol used in any network. In this lecture, I'll show you how to perform a DNS spoofing attack. First, something very important. This video and all the other videos related to network security are for educational and security awareness purposes only. Do not use this knowledge to do illegal activities, but only for ethical or white hat hacking. Just to be sure that you'll understand how this attack works, I want first to explain to you in just a few words what the DNS protocol does. Each time a user writes a domain name to connect to a service like google.com, behind the scenes, the DNS client on the host, aka DNS resolver, will send a DNS query to a DNS server that will respond back with the IP address of that domain. Let me show you a live example of what's all about. I am opening Wireshark to capture all packets sent and received. Capture, options, the Wi-Fi interface, and start. And using the browser, I'm visiting a website like reddit.com. Back to Wireshark, I'll stop capturing packets. And I'm going at the beginning of the capture. We notice that before connecting to reddit.com, the host has sent a DNS query to the DNS server configured on the system. Okay, the DNS client or the DNS resolver is 192.168.0.113 and 192.168.0.1 is the DNS server. And this is the query, a standard query for reddit.com. The client wants the address of this domain, and the server has responded back with the IP address of that domain. After that step, the client has connected to reddit.com website using its IP address as the destination. So domain names are only for humans. Computers use IP addresses. Let's return to the DNS spoofing attack. Basically, there are two types of DNS spoofing attacks. The first one is of type man in the middle, and that means that the attacker will launch an ARP poisoning attack and put himself in the middle of the connection between the client and the DNS server. He will intercept the DNS query sent by the client and respond back to the client with a fake DNS reply indicating an IP address he controls for the domain the client was asking for. And the second type of attack means a DNS server compromise or a direct hijacking of a DNS server which is configured to return a malicious IP address. In this video, I'll show you how to successfully execute a DNS spoofing attack using ARP poisoning and Bettercap. Let's launch the attack. I'm starting Bettercap as usual. There is a special Bettercap module named DNS.spoof for this attack. Let's see its help. Help DNS.spoof. We start the module as usual using the name of the module on, and we stop it using the name of the module off. Let's take a look at its parameters. DNS.spoof.address indicates the IP address to map the spoofed domains to. By default, this is the IP address of the interface on which Bettercap is running. Maybe you want to run a service, like a web server, on the same machine that runs Bettercap and serves the client a fake website. But if you wish, you can change this to any IP address. In this example, I won't modify dns.spoof.address because I'm gonna start a web server on this machine, on Kali. Another parameter is dns.spoof.all. If it's true, the module will reply to every DNS request, and we set this option to true. Set dns.spoof.all true. And the last option, and the most important, is dns.spoof.domains. This indicates a list of comma-separated values of domain names to spoof. Set dns.spoof.domains, bank.com, this is just an example, comma, star.google.com, comma, star.ford.com. Star means any subdomain like www. Note that it's possible not to be able to spoof any domain this way. HSTS domains could not be spoofed or can be spoofed harder, and especially if the user does something stupid. We'll talk about HSTS in another lecture, but in a nutshell, HSTS or HTTP strict transport security means a list of well-known websites like facebook.com or twitter.com that are already registered in the browser. I'm starting the module dns.spoof on. And finally, the options for ARP poisoning. This DNS attack is also based on ARP poisoning. Set arp.spoof.fullduplex true. Set arp.spoof.targets 192.168.0.113. The IP address of Windows. Okay, the address is correct. net.recon on. And arp.spoof on. Let's check what modules are running. I'm executing help. We notice that net.recon is running, DNS spoof and arp.spoof are also running. The next step is to start a web server on hacker's machine. Apache is already installed on Kali, and I'll just start it. I'm becoming root. Note that starting with Kali version 2020.1, there is an unprivileged user named Kali, and if you want to run commands as root, you must become root by executing sudo su, and the password is also Kali. I'm root. Okay, I'm starting Apache. systemctl start Apache 2, the name of the service. And I'm checking its status. systemctl status Apache 2. Okay, Apache 2 is running. The Apache 2 server will send the clients the websites in /var/www/html. I'm moving to that directory /var www and html, and here I'm gonna change index.html. I'm opening the file. I'm removing everything, and I'm writing, this is a fake website. This is just an example to see how it works. A malicious user will create a clone of a bank or another important website and capture your credentials. I'm saving the file. Let's go to the victim machine and ping one of the spoofed domains. Ping www.ford.com. Very nice. We notice how in fact we have pinged the IP address of Kali. Let's open up a browser and connect to www.ford.com. I'd recommend you to start a new private or incognito tab, or even better, delete the browser cache because maybe it already has the real IP in the cache and the attack will not work. Click on Ctrl+Shift+Del to delete the browser cache. In this example, I'm just starting a new private window. And I'm connecting to www.ford.com. And we notice the fake website. We notice how Kali has hijacked the DNS session and sent its own address to client for www.ford.com. This is a disruptive attack because a hacker could create a clone of your bank or another financial institution, and even though you write the correct address, you will be redirected to a phishing website that could steal your credentials and use them later on the real website.